Hey, as you guys look over the case studies, there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind. The first thing I've uploaded is an example of a student who wrote his case study on sex bots. Um, there's a variety of topics you can write on. Just pick one of the case studies down below. And what you want to keep in mind is I would like you to pick a case study that you feel passionately about. So if you don't really know which way the case should have gone, um, don't pick that one. Um, there is no right or wrong way for the case to go, per se. Um, so, for example, let's say you're writing about sex bots, which is the example I gave you guys to look over. Um, the question, basically, the case study is looking into is what does it do to someone's psyche to be able to have sex with a robot as opposed to a human? Does that hurt relationships with people in the future? Does it make them more of an introvert? Are they more likely to um, take out aggressions or do something bad to a robot that they couldn't do to a person? And is that good or is that bad? This kind of thing. Um, so somebody may say, yeah, sex bots are great. I think they'd be a wonderful thing for people who aren't able to connect with other people. Or you could say, no, I think sex bots are bad because they will lead to people not being able to develop relationships with other people. Whatever the case may be, when you pick a case study, think of which way you feel about it first. Okay? Then, after you've done that, think of which two ethical theories will best help you in making this decision. This is not stuck in stone. You can change ethical theories as you write the paper. If you're like, I was going to use utilitarianism and social contract theory to back up what I was saying, but really I think deontology would be better. That's fine. You're welcome to do that. Okay? There's no right or wrong way to do that either. But just kind of keep that in mind, how you would go about backing up your argument. Okay. Now I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to talk about baby S44, which is one of the options for your case study. So baby S44, as you'll read, is about a woman named Crystal, and Crystal is a surrogate mother, right? So she's a surrogate mother for a couple, I believe, named Tom and Linda, and um, she is going to be artificially inseminated and carry their baby to term for them, and I believe she's getting paid $20,000 to do so. In the contract she signs saying that she will do that, she also signed a clause saying that if there was a defect with the baby, she would have an abortion. I think it's her 5-month checkup. She goes in and they determine that something is wrong with the fetus. It has a cleft palate, a cyst on the brain, a heart abnormality, I believe. And so Tom and Linda, the couple who are the biological parents of the child, ask her to have an abortion. She refuses to do so. And that's fine. Crystal can refuse to have an abortion. But now she has violated the contract. Okay? She instead decides to have the baby herself, to go ahead and have it. So Tom and Linda say, that's fine. We'll just give it up to the state once the baby's born. Well, Crystal doesn't like that, so she decides to move to Michigan and have the baby in Michigan. Whoever is carrying the child is considered the legal guardian of the child, not the biological parents. So she moves to Michigan, where the state laws are different, and she has the child. Then she decides that she can't take care of the child, and she ends up giving it up for adoption. Now, the question there is, did Crystal do the correct thing? Should she have done all of this stuff to subvert or go around the parents, the biological parents of her baby? So that's so there's a couple ways you could take this. You could say, Crystal did the wrong thing. Okay, why did she do the wrong thing? Well, you could use utilitarianism and say the greatest good for the greatest number is that Crystal goes ahead and gets an abortion. Why? She has 2 kids of her own that she needs to take care of. She's a single parent. She can't afford to take care of a kid with all of these disabilities. It's also what Tom and Linda would want. And they also offered her $10,000 if she'd go ahead and get an abortion. So it's financially better, and it's better for all people involved, except maybe the infant. You could argue that, but it's not even aware yet. So you could say that that would produce the greatest good for the greatest number if she went ahead and had an abortion. You could also use the categorical imperative and say deontology and say it that you cannot violate contracts. Well, why can't you violate contracts? If we live in a world in which everyone violates contracts, and Crystal signed a contract saying she would get an abortion if something was wrong with the baby, then if you sign contracts and you have no intention of following through with that, then if everyone did that kind of thing, right, we're going to universalize that principle, and if everyone did that kind of thing, would that be a world in which you logically want to live in? No, of course not. It would be chaotic. People would agree to contracts all the time and have no intention of following through with them. So you could back up your reasoning that Crystal did something wrong on those 2 things. The other thing you could do is you could say that Crystal did the right thing. You could use utilitarianism again. You could say that she did the right thing because the greatest good is not ending the life of an infant. Even though she signed a contract, she believed she was doing the greatest good by keeping that baby alive. You may want to recognize that she was harming other people, but you could say that that harm is minuscule compared to how good it would do. And then the other thing you could say is you could use care ethics and say that she has a special bond or a special obligation because of her relationship with the baby. I know you haven't gone over care ethics yet. We're doing that next week is the very last thing before your midterm exam. But care ethics basically is the idea that we have a special relationship and care mostly for people who are very close to us. So Crystal has a special relationship to that infant because she is the primary caregiver. So that case could go either way. Whenever you pick a case study, I'm not really worried about which direction you go in answering the question. What I'm worried about is, do you argue one way fully, right? So do you pick one way and stick with it? And then which 2 ethical theories do you use? Do you explain those ethical theories well? And do you apply them appropriately to the case? Now, I don't want you to worry too much about the technicalities of the paper yet. I just want you to worry about what case study you'd like to do and which 2 ethical theories you think could help you. Once again, you can change that later. Just which 2 ethical theories do you think might be able to help you? The most important thing is just picking out which case study you like best and sending me a message below in the link telling me which case study you've chosen, why you chose it, and which 2 ethical theories you think will help you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, or you can text me at my cell at 501-553-4091.